to the Casual Gaming Conversation. I'm Connor. That's Nick. We're coming at you every week with a hot take, one apiece, scorching hot. We got a good big topic this week. We're talking Alan Wake. We're talking Mario Wonder. We're closing it out with a draft. We're talking video game controllers, the best video game controllers of all time. Excited? Feeling good?
I am feeling good, but it is an important disclaimer. Connor's not feeling well. I'm coming off of being sick. Little 1-2 punch. But last night, post-stream, disaster struck Connor. I was supposed to get a good night's sleep. I committed to not editing yesterday to get a good night's sleep. Okay? Dealing with sickness. As that one song says, down with the sickness. Alright?
Sure.
I don't even know. I have no idea. Anyways, but I go and I'm dealing with this, like being sick, and when you're sick, you want what you want, and you will do whatever you need to get it, right? So I wanted my burrito from Chipotle. Finished stream around like 9:40, right? Playing FF7, I feel awful, but I want this burrito. Ordered on the app, didn't get it earlier. Ordered on the app, 9:30. And I forgot that we live in Cincinnati. In Cincinnati, as a whole, you got UC, you got some other small colleges.
Where'd you go?
I went to the one up the street.
What's not used?
Well, it's close enough to Cincinnati that they were open late for Halloween.
Okay.
And so, surely enough, it was one of the only Chipotles in the area that was open late. There was a line out onto the road, all the way around this building. And I was like, I already paid for the burrito, gotta wait. I waited from 9:50 until 11:20 for a burrito in this line. I was just on my phone. I'm watching other Twitch streams, hanging out. But I felt so bad. Fell asleep at midnight last night.
Yeah.
Woke up at 7 a.m. feeling good. I was actually at the top of my game right away this morning. But man, it was so upsetting to be like, I need sleep. I need to feel better, and to not feel better. And then sickness has been up and down throughout today. I didn't eat a lot earlier, and just because I was no appetite. But I'm feeling good, chat. I'm feeling good, guys. I'm excited for the podcast.
Yeah, I'm stuffy and have a sore throat, so if I sound a little off, that's why. Or if I make any gross noise, be clearing my throat or something, you'll just have to deal with it. But we're gonna get through it. We got some TikToks to record from this, and we got one fun big topic. But this is the Casual Gaming Conversation. Each and every week, we do the rundown of those three big sections. But if you know us from our other platforms, we're on TikTok, new video every day. We got lists coming up. We got some great ones. We got Gaming Fast Money. We got hot takes. We got the whole
Connect
nine.
4
Connect 4 coming back. Yep, the return of Connect 4 tomorrow.
Yes.
When this is live,
Yep.
It should be that afternoon. So there's that. We stream Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday on Twitch. Nick is streaming Final Fantasy VII Original. I'm streaming Hi-Fi Rush. We are streaming Mario Wonder every Monday for one more Monday.
Yep.
We're gonna beat it next week. So be there or be square. Monday nights. It's been a lot of fun.
Last time you get to see Brady as Peach.
Right.
So
it'll be immortalized in the emotes.
That's true.
Yeah.
That is true.
And if you come through, you'll probably get a gifted sub because
People
our
are just
fans
wild.
are just giving them out left.
Yeah.
So that's exciting. So was that everything? And then we get a Casual Gaming Conversation every Thursday, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tell your friends. Tell your mom.
Tell your grandma.
Tell your sister.
Why are you just bringing in women? Why can't we bring in tell your dog?
Give your grandma my number. I don't know.
Yeah. Connor likes grannies. All right.
I was thinking about going with sister, but I was like, it would be funnier if I just went with the grandma.
Yeah, that is the move. You are a married man, but apparently
I can flirt.
There you go.
I'm just window shopping.
Oh my gosh. Anyways, hot take. I'm ready for mine.
Yeah, you want to?
I'm ready.
Here, let me
Bring
fix
it. What do
something.
you got? You got a little collar issue.
Yeah,
oh, there we go.
Yeah. Do you want that popped or do you want that down?
It's fine to be popped. I normally wear it popped,
in
general. 3/4 zip, Chad. One of the best.
I've been asking you to clear these hot takes with me. We're just gonna
let it rip. All right.
You better be good because you've come with some weak sauce the last 2 weeks.
All right, Connor. My hot take for this. Sorry, my hot take for this week starts out with a question to you. Right now, when you think of PlayStation, what is the first franchise you think of?
The Last of Us or God of War, maybe.
Great. Those are the two that I wanted you to say. Both of those need to go away for a long time. a very, 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 very long time.
Okay.
We need to get some new IPs in here that are solo, single-player franchises that can continue to build and not rely on these tentpoles the way that we are right now. So my hot take is God of War, The Last of Us, get them out of here for a long time.
Anybody else?
Those are the main two. Yeah. Because right now we're in a spot where those creative minds, the best of the best, Naughty Dog, Sony Santa Monica, they are the ones that we would trust the most to do new IP. Because they're so good at what they do. You know it's a banger when you see that Naughty Dog logo, when you see the Sony Santa Monica logo. And with those bangers, they need some new IP. We need to put these teams, these fat wallets that Sony gives them to go and develop these games. We need to let them be utilized for new IP. It's time to look to the future a little bit. I feel like we are in the sequel era where it's God of War, Spider-Man 2, Horizon, Ghost 2 is going to get announced sometimes. Even looking into partnerships, Death Stranding 2. Like, we're in just the sequel after sequel after sequel. It is time to get some new IP flowing. And I know that that's an easier said than done thing for a multitude of reasons, from a business sense and from just an overall creative sense, where it's like, well, we know Spidey 3 is going to happen. Mm-hmm. Like, we know Horizon 3 is going to happen. But the reason that I wanted to point out Naughty Dog and Sony Santa Monica, one, they're big enough. They are wide enough as teams to be working on two projects at once. But the next time we see those logos, it better be for a new product. It better be Cory Barlog's new game, whatever he's been working on, which is super exciting. One of the best creative minds in the biz. And then I believe Neil Druckmann is working on Last of Us projects, Last of Us 3 and Factions. I think that's time to set that aside for a little bit. Let him put some creative input and come out with a new franchise. Everyone wants it. Some sort of agent game, some sort of 007 stealth, sort of like Solid Snake, a little bit cooler on the Uncharted side. Give us something like that from that terrific studio in Naughty Dog. And then you can do a bunch of superhero stuff with the combat styles of Sony Santa Monica as Kratos. He's basically a superhero anyways. But like, maybe give them a smaller game, a smaller title. Maybe give them something that's a little bit wackier, weird. Let them have a team of like 20 people within Sony Santa Monica, $50 title. We talk about loving our short games. Connor, do you love your short games?
Love my short games.
We're talking about short games for a reason, because big studios should make some smaller games along with the big stuff in between. Like Insomniac does really well with that Miles Morales. We had Ratchet in 21. Here we are 2023 with Spider-Man, this bigger title. It's not like huge, but they know how to make good games over there. Sony Santa Monica and Naughty Dog need to come out with some new IP, and they need to hit. And they will hit, because the creative minds there are that good. There's a reason we haven't seen Factions yet, because they understand that the brand of Naughty Dog matters more than releasing a product and getting a cash grab. They know that that game has to be good, because that IP and that developer is their tentpole. It is the most important thing to them as Sony. And yeah, that's my hot take for the week.
There you go.
Was it a good hot take? Did it come through?
I can take that. I can.
Okay.
It's one of those things that it's gonna happen, just not right now. I think you could see Sony Santa Monica moving on to something completely different after this last God of War, because they kind of put a bow on it, but it was so successful that I think they're getting dragged back in. And I think Naughty Dog is going to do Last of Us Part 3 and then move on to something else, hopefully.
I think that we will see Barlog's game before God of War 3.
Yeah.
Which,
that's been in development
for a couple years now. And so, yeah, I think that it's time. It's really exciting that it is time. Do you think that we see either Sony Santa Monica, Naughty Dog this year, Game Awards?
No.
Yeah, I
God
agree.
of War was late last year, right?
Yeah, but there's rumors of DLC coming out and being announced this year.
That's a possibility.
And then Naughty Dog, they have a great relationship with Keighley.
Yeah,
Neil has a great relationship.
I think it's too soon to say that this would be the case, but I think what the most likely outcome of this whole Factions debacle is it gets tacked on to a $70 Last of Us 2 remaster or PS5 version.
I want it.
That's what I've wanted since day one.
Yeah.
I didn't even want them to go down this whole path of making this robust multiplayer experience with that is supposed to be like a forever game as a service. Like, just give me a multiplayer suite in The Last of Us. I played factions for like 500 hours.
And it had like
it had 3 modes.
Yeah, anytime we get the chance to boot it up, we're gonna boot it up.
Yeah,
like, it's awesome.
It's super fun. It's a ton of replayability. So if they literally give us more of that, but maybe a little bit more, like 4 modes, maybe, like perfect. Like, that's all I really want. I just want another excuse to play Last of Us multiplayer with friends. But they're getting the axe by Bungie, and then now Bungie's are having problems as well. So like, it's just kind of a shit show. At some point, one of my hot takes is going to be on PlayStation and where we're at right now, but not today. Not today. You into my hot take now?
Yeah.
Good to go? I had a laundry list of stuff that I felt good about, but didn't really like. I need to like develop more of like an opinion on it. So this is a little bit from the cuff. I'm not gonna lie. Usually I spend the entire day thinking about it, but I've been sick all day thinking about how I'm about to die.
By the way, I do want you to know that when we were having dinner, that was the take that I used was the take that I thought of earlier today and like developed. And so it was not just a like. But like
I have a huge list, but there's like stuff that like I want to be able to list off like examples, and I want to be able to like kind of like really develop my thought on it. But I've had this one for a while, so I'll just kind of give it a go.
There we go.
All right. You know what I'm saying? All right. My gaming hot take for this week is that Mass Effect 3's ending, it's fine. It's fine, guys. It doesn't ruin the whole series. It doesn't retroactively kill your enjoyment of everything that came before it. It might not be what we wanted. It's not what I wanted. But I finished it with that in mind, that everyone said it was horrible, and I was like, because Mass Effect 3 is the ending for the Mass Effect franchise. The last 5 minutes is not the ending. The entire game is wrapping up the threads that have been sown in Mass Effect 1 and Mass Effect 2. You have returning characters out the wazoo. Everybody's showing up.
Everyone's here.
And you're getting a little bit of missions with everybody. People appear on the Citadel. You're having conversations with them. And then like you're getting those final moments, and it definitely does feel climactic. You get like endings for some of these characters for sure. You know who I'm talking about, where like certain characters die. Certain characters have major emotional moments that stick with you and feel like an ending for their arc. So with that in mind, the last 5 minutes where you get the 3 options, and they all kind of lead to the same thing, and they're just recolors of the same ending, it never really rang true to me that it mattered. Like, it was like, that was the ending that they were leading towards, and it had to culminate in some way in a story that has a million choices and has a bunch of different threads going on. It was always going to come to a close. I think it was Greg Miller or somebody else in the industry said that it's like a diamond for these choice-based games. They all start from the same point, and then they spread out with all your choices and go off. But they have to come together, and it has to come to an end at some point. And the journey along the way, Mass Effect 2 being a perfect video game in my mind, and then the wartime horror of Mass Effect 3 and that hopelessness has the task of wrapping up all these storylines that with all the characters that are introduced in 2 and then all the characters that are introduced in 1 and brought back in 3. Like, it's a tall task to wrap all that up, and I think they do it beautifully throughout the game, not just at the ending, but throughout the game. And then it's made even better with the DLC. You played the Citadel DLC, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It is the ultimate celebration of these characters. And I know this came out after the game, after Mass Effect 3, so we'd already had that sour taste of the ending in our mouth. But with that Citadel DLC and the other DLCs that kind of flesh out the world, I think Mass Effect 3 is a fantastic game and a worthy ending to a amazing trilogy, and deserves the flowers that it should have gotten always. And I just want to say that, like, it's not a Game of Thrones situation. That's the biggest analogy that people like might want to throw around. Like, oh, the ending ruined it all. It's not even close to Game of Thrones level of bad at the end. It's fine. Let's all calm down a little bit. Mass Effect's awesome. The ending doesn't ruin it. That's my hot take.
I, as someone that's not played Mass Effect 3, but knows the story very well, not just because I'm been around gaming for as long as I have, but for you retelling.
I think I just talked at Nick for hours on end when I was playing Mass Effect for the first time.
Probably like 7 or 8 hours of total conversation of you discussing Mass Effect 2 and 3 especially. Okay. I'll allow it.
Yeah,
I'll allow it. It's
one of those situations where I think that'll probably ruffle some feathers, but I think most people. I'm not saying it's good. I'm not saying the ending is good. It's fine. Like that's the situation. So like I feel like when I come with my hot takes, like my goal is to like ruffle some feathers, have some people upset with me, but I want you to understand where I'm coming from, and I think I argued that. So, yeah.
Connor.
Yep.
What are your Alan Wake 2 impressions?
Dude.
This is another scenario where normally we would talk a lot more about a game, but we are withholding it due to the podcast. And I'm excited for Connor to just let it rip.
I've given you little tidbits here and there, but Alan Wake 2 is fucking amazing. Like, I am caught completely off guard with this release. We're so deep into the year of one of the most amazing years in video games ever. I did not think we were going to get the end cap of this fucking banger, dude. We're in one of the best years of survival horror ever. We had Dead Space Remake, we had Resident Evil 4 Remake, two of the greatest survival horror games ever, and Alan Wake 2 somehow stands out from those two as potentially better. I'm 10, 12 hours in, so I can't give my... Unless it just completely falls apart at the end, my opinion could change, but this game is, so far, essentially immaculate. Like, I can't believe it's as good as it is. I did not play the first Alan Wake. I want to say that right off the jump. I really wanted to get to it, but with all the games that have come out in the last few weeks, last few months, like, I had it on the docket. I was like, I just need a week to be able to just get through it, and I just could not get through it.
Your boss, aka your brother, was like, you need to play this game, you need to play that game, and I never, out of my mouth, said the word Alan Wake. Like, that was never like, hey, for content stuff, for Game of the Year stuff, you need to play this game.
Right.
And so it went Cyberpunk into it, and like, and so also
it was Cyberpunk into Spider-Man, and then we were playing Mario Wonder on stream and everything, and it's just...
And before that, Starfield, and like,
yeah. Right, exactly.
Yeah, you're good. But yeah, it's been a row to get to Alan Wake, to say the least.
Right, and I was hoping it was great, honestly, because I was like, okay, this one thing that I don't need to play. But it's amazing. Like, it's a little slow in the beginning. The opening is one of my favorite openings to any video game ever. I was like, oh fuck. Like, this is going to be good. Like, this is going to be really, really good. And then it just does not let off the gas. Like, and actually, I kind of want to take that back a little bit. My biggest gripe with it is not my own gripe. It's a gripe that I'm afraid other people might have, where I think that other people might think the opening is a little slow. But that's like it has so much care in like the pacing and the ramping up and the tension, layer and layer and layer. And then when it bursts, you're like, fuck, like this is terrifying. Like this is extremely scary. Like by the end of that first chapter, I was completely hooked. And you don't really even shoot a gun for like a lot of that first chapter. Like you don't even shoot a gun for probably the first 2 hours of that game. And
That's
I
wild.
was like, okay, like I'm in. It's just got its grips in me on the story. You play as, no spoilers, you know this from the trailers. You play as Saga, the FBI agent. You play as Alan Wake. Two different stories that are like kind of interweaving and intermingling. So you start as Saga, and she's an FBI agent, so she's on the case of like cult, these killers and everything.
I hate cult horror. I hate cult horror.
Yeah, it's rough. And you're just kind of picking up clues, and you have this mind palace that you can go into, and like you're Charlie from
Always
Sunny, like stringing all the stuff together and like trying to and like deducing stuff, and then you can like try to go into the mind of like of somebody and try to like figure out what they were thinking, and that will help you like understand the story better. And it's not exactly the most exciting of gameplay sequences, but it really does get you invested in like in the deduction and trying to figure out what's going on and like really into the mystery of it all. Like it really engages you in that way where you're like you're excited for the next thread to connect and her to have that aha moment to then like get on with the story, which is really cool. And it kind of lets the story breathe a little bit, lets you calm the fuck down, because when you're in the actual game, the actual world, it is terrifying. Like, I do not think RE4 is scary at all. I do not think Dead Space is particularly scary. I am terrified of Alan Wake. I had to sleep with a light on in the hallway because I was scared. And I'm a scaredy cat. Like, I don't do great with horror things, so like mileage may vary. You might think it's not scary at all, but I'm terrified of the woods. And like I'm terrified of things chasing me in the woods, especially. And that's like the first bit of this game is like something is chasing you in the woods, and like you're just like trying to get away, and then he just keeps coming up in front of you and coming, like it's so scary. And then also the jump scares in this game, like you're seeing stuff like constantly, and it will like flash in front of you, and it'll scream at you, and it's like Jesus every time. And I know jump scares are cheap for a lot of people, but for me, it's really effective because it really, there's a story reason why all of this is happening. There's like two parallel universes, and it's basically like shit like crossing over real fast or whatever. Like you're seeing that stuff, which is terrifying. So that's kind of the atmosphere of the story. The location is haunting and spooky for Saga. It's somehow even better for Alan.
Better or scarier?
Not scarier for Alan, at least so far. Woods wins over most things for me for spooky reasons.
Yeah.
But for Alan, I'm not going to say where he is or what he's doing, but this is just really interesting. And the design and like the art direction is really fantastic in his sections. Really dug it. Real quick, gonna touch on the visuals. This is potentially the most beautiful game I've ever played. Like, this is the most next-gen game I've played since Demon's Souls.
Over Horizon?
It's close. Damn. Like, it looks amazing. Like, truly next-gen. And like, where I haven't said this since, like, booting up my PS5 since Demon's Souls, of being like, yeah, this looks fucking amazing. Like, like, so good. And that it's just helped by the art direction that's really fantastic. And then the survival horror aspects, the gameplay. I think this is a little bit more of a weaker area, some might say. Not as deep or like as item managey as RE4. I would say it's more on the level of Dead Space. But it's more on the level of Dead Space, but you have less ammo. Like it's that classic survival horror, like every shot counts. You stress out when you're missing your bullets. Like it makes you feel bad when you're missing stuff. I've ran out of ammo before. Like just had to run past people and like hope that I found some stuff and did. But it is stressful. So I don't think that and I think it's really tight. Also the haptics and the triggers, amazing. The shotgun, poof, like you gotta really click down and like it you feel it when you shoot the shotgun. And I love a good shotgun in survival horror game. So that's fantastic. I love Alan Wake 2. If you're a survival horror fan and you are interested or like moderately like on the fence about this game, you need to check this game out.
We joke about it, like him and I, every now and then. It is only $60 compared to a $70 title.
Right.
Like it is, you get a little bit of a discount. Then like for me, I'm like always waiting for a good sale on something that I'm questioning whether I'm going to buy it. Basically, in my mind, internally, I'm like, oh, it's on sale. Like, it's already, like, $10 off than a normal $70 release. So if that sways you at all, which, like, for me, it's, like, swaying. Like, it really is, like, one of those things I'm like, 70, 60? Like, it does. So that is important.
The last thing I'll say on it, Sam Lake, the director for this game, one of the higher-ups in Remedy. Remedy, at this point, is in the top echelon of Naughty Dog, Sucker Punch, Sony Santa Monica, Bethesda Game Studios, Machine Games. Like, they are up there, like, for overall developers. And Sam Lake is becoming Kojima-esque. He's, like, on the, like, when it comes to world building and storytelling and, like, really, like I feel like Control and this could have a Bible. You know what I mean? Of like just information. And he's acting in it. Like his face is in it, just like in Max Payne. I can't speak to Max Payne 1 or 2 or Alan Wake 1, but from Control and from Alan Wake 2, he's an auteur. Like he is one of my favorite minds in video games at this point. I think he's fascinating. I will play anything that he has his fingers on. And I'm really disappointed that they're going back and doing Max Payne 1 and 2 after this, because I just want to see what's next.
That's awesome.
Give me Control 2.
That's rad.
He's crazy, dude. Like, he's awesome.
That's so cool. Dude.
Yeah.
That's exciting to hear, because, like, for me, I'm all about the gaming personalities. I love the idea that we have another Corey or another Kojima or another, like, these minds.
He's been around for a long time.
Yeah.
He's literally the face that was grafted onto Max Payne on the PS2 game. So, like, he's been in it for a very long time, and he's impressed me endlessly now. I will play anything that Remedy and he puts out. I go where Sam Lake goes.
There we go. That's really cool, because it's one of those things that I don't think I like. At times, it feels like gaming is very one note, where it's like you just expect certain things from these certain big dogs, FromSoft, Sony first party, some Xbox and Bethesda Studios, where it's like, oh yeah, like that's gonna be a banger. To have another one of those is just like special. It's cool. It's more fun to have that in the gaming industry. And then there's also like the indies, like Supergiant, that's like, oh shit, like that's really cool and exciting. Yeah.
Last point on Remedy, I should be like at the top of PlayStation's list if they want to. They seem like a PlayStation studio. My third person adventure
over
games,
the shoulder,
like a perfect fit.
I think that they have their eyes on From. I think that's where they go to next.
We'll see. This seems cheaper, and they're making these games for $50 million.
Yeah,
that's nothing.
Yeah.
Why can't they need to learn from them, is what I'm finding out. Like, how did they make a game that looks this good on this budget?
That it plays this good.
It plays this good. Like, and the sound's awesome too. Like, oh man, I can't wear headphones because like
too scary.
Yeah, the shit around you, like even on my speakers, like it's like I feel like it's happening all around me. It's crazy. I could gush about this game all day.
I was about to say, it sounds like you're in pain talking about it, but also like super excited. It's great. It's awesome.
I can't wait to put a score on it.
Last question for this, not personal. Does this make the Keeley top 6?
Dude, I hope so. I really do. I think it's way more interesting to put this here than RE4 or Dead Space. But
so I personally, I don't think that. Let's play a little game. Let's just play a little quick game for you, Connor. Little quick game. We're having a podcast, so it's over Dead Space, over RE4, over Starfield. Not for you, but like for the Game Awards. Over Starfield, over Let's P and Armored Core.
Yeah.
Over Sea of Stars. Okay, so we're talking then. It is in that probably top 6 area.
Mario 1. I don't want to.
No, we're not going to do this. That's not this conversation. But I'm talking about there is that like sort of second tier, like for everyone, it's like tiers PG3. Those are the locks, and then there is that like Spider-Man and Mario. But like then there's the tier below it that is the major question marks.
Right.
Do you think that this gets over something like Final Fantasy 16? That's the last one I'll leave it at. Which one would you expect to see there more?
Final Fantasy.
Okay,
I think.
Okay,
but it's close. Yeah, it's a conversation for sure.
That's what a year, dude. Lastly, do you recommend this game for me?
No, because it's too scary. Yeah, like you won't be able to. Nick's a weenie hut.
I'm so.
He couldn't play Resident Evil 7. Couldn't play Resident Evil 8.
Resident Evil 8, I will stick to this to the day I die. It was more of a like I had to leave the state and not have my PlayStation for 3 months after it came out. But yeah, it was. It's a time, dude. I can't believe that you're here. You want to talk Mario Wonder for like 5 minutes?
Yeah, we're just gonna bang out Mario Wonder real fast. We've been playing on stream. It's great.
Really good game.
You want to?
Yeah, I can hop in and lead the conversation a little bit. Holy shit, they did it! Like it is. Right. It lives up to the name. It's truly wonderful. It is super super insane to play this game on stream because every single stream that we do, it flies by. It is so easy to get lost in these worlds where I'm like, oh, this game feels short, and then all of a sudden I'm like, it's not short. It just feels fast because time is moving so fast. Because
it is pretty
so
short. I think it's only like 10 hours.
Yeah, it's not 8 to 10 hours, which like for our purposes, 3 streams, that's great. But like, and the replayability is, I would love to replay certain levels. I would love to go back and be able to collect all 3 stars in this game. Like, it is unbelievable what they've done with this product, and it is the hard part is. Comes out last year, or not last year, 2021, 2019, it's Game of the Year. Like, it is that spectacular of a game. It is just obviously competing with titans across the board. I will say this. I am more excited to platinum Spider-Man. I am more excited to get back to Lies of P, and I'm more excited to get to Tears of the Kingdom than I am to play this game, which is really shocking because I'm like, it's such a treat and a delight to play this game. I just have other things I'm looking forward to a little bit more on my gaming calendar, and that's not a necessarily knock against the game. It's more just the year that we're in. But I can't like recommend a video game more, I think, than Mario Wonder to anyone.
It's so easy to recommend. And I think that the big takeaway for me is that this is definitely the best Mario since World, probably.
Yeah.
Super hard.
It's not a tall task, other than like joking around on the Wii with your cousins, right?
Yeah,
like,
I do kind of miss the being able to collide with each other.
I mean, for our purposes, we would be on World 2 still if like we were streaming and being able to toss each other off buildings and stuff.
Right. That is a good point. But when it comes to Mario Wonder and my opinions on it, I think the level design and like how varied the levels are is so Nintendo. Yep. It's like they just understand how to make something magical and not half-ass it. Like,
this, for my example, there's Disney magic. Like, that is a thing that people say, like, oh, Disney products, like, certain things just come in. Nintendo has this way to sprinkle in magic throughout all 8 to 10 hours of this game. That's like, how do you not do that for an hour? Right. How do you not do that for 2 hours? They're like, no, we're gonna do it for 8 hours.
It's just like they could have just taken one of these ideas and been like, okay, this idea is this world, and this idea is this world, but it's like, no, it's like every level is a little bit different, and not a little bit different. Like, has like a new mechanic in it. Like, you're turning into new things. The world is going wild with the Wonder Seeds. Like, it's fantastic. I do think it has the perfect level of difficulty in my mind, with like certain levels being it has a star system. You know, kind of what you're getting into. I think that's really a smart idea. I do think it's you can elongate this game as much as you really want. You can get a lot out of it when it comes to collecting everything, going through every level, doing all like the challenges and everything, collecting all the badges and all that.
There's like the stamps too that you have to turn coins into for like it's brilliant the way that they actually make this game a lot more than 10 hours.
Right, it's fantastic. I think it's an easy recommend to anybody. It's definitely on my top 10 games for this year, without a doubt.
It's going to be a really interesting conversation, but I will say that like we will look back this year, next year, when we're having these discussions about the previous year in the same way that we do about 2021 and 2022, where it's like October 20th was like
this
most
whole week,
fun.
The whole week of Alan Wake, Spider-Man, and Mario Wonder is like,
we might have all three of those having their music played at the end of the year for the Game Awards Orchestra.
Dude, the music Alan Wake too. That like Christopher Nolan Inception. Dude, like, it has like the titles like for like Marvel movies, like the poof, and it'll fucking punch you in the face with music when it comes in, or like when the chapter ends, it's like end chapter, and it's like fuck, like it usually is ending on like something that you just thought was crazy, and it's like Jesus Christ, like, it's awesome, dude. I'm sorry.
I like how we're in the Mario Wonder section and Connor is still gushing about Alan Wake. I think it shows, though. I think it shows. You just
reminded me of it. But yeah, Mario Wonder, easy recommend. We're having a blast with it. Stop in on Monday if you're seeing this on Thursday. If you're seeing this tomorrow, we have one more Mario Wonder stream on Twitch. So
it's gonna be a blast. I love it. I don't know if words can describe how much I am enjoying this game, though. Like, it's so much fun, and it
feels right. Mario, like the movement and everything feels
tight,
crisp. Like
it's like the difference between like Lies of P versus a FromSoft game, where it's like certain things like emulated, but there is something about playing a FromSoft game where it's like it's perfection. Right. When you're talking about 2D platforming in Mario, it's perfection. It is as good as it gets. Like, period. It's so good. You
said 5 minutes. Perfect. 5 minutes. There we go.
There we go.
All right. I need to just clear my throat a little bit.
Take a sip of...
We're talking... You just want to kind of like intro this?
Yeah, I can do the intro for the thing. I'm going to wait till your glass touches the ground, though.
Who's going first?
And
let's snake.
We're snaking?
Yeah.
Why? Just because you just want to?
We snaked last time.
Did we?
Yeah.
Oh. Do you want first or not? Do you want to check? No, it doesn't matter.
Check what? Who won first last time?
Yeah, I'll take first pick. I'll take first pick. I want first pick.
You went first last time, but that's fine. You can have it.
Yeah, great. Ladies and gentlemen, today we are drafting video game controllers. The way they look, the way they feel, the way they play. I think that's the 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, and no like specialty like scuff Vantage Pro like knockoff anything like, or no like Xbox Elite controller. We're talking like the one that comes out of the box.
I did not know that was the case, but that also makes me want the first pick a little bit less, but I still get the first pick in this. I'm going to take the most ideal controller in the world. Give me the Xbox One controller. Yeah. It's perfect. It is what a controller should be. The shape, the feel, the size, the heft. Perfection across the board.
The sticks are perfect. Like your fingers just like sit naturally on them when you pick it up. And the fact that they didn't switch after going from Xbox One to Series, they were just like, it's perfect. Like, we know you like it. We're going to stick with it.
We made a hit. Let's just keep playing it.
Right.
All right, your pick.
With my first overall pick, I'm going to go... Oh, wait. It's not my first overall.
It is your first overall.
It's my first pick.
You did just say that, though, with my first overall pick.
Yeah, I know, but it's
not... That makes sense, Connor.
No, it doesn't.
With my first overall pick, it is your first overall pick.
But it's not the first overall
pick. You didn't say the first overall pick. You said it was my first overall pick. Right, that made complete sense.
I'm just going to say it. I'm just going to say my first
All right.
We're going to switch it up. It doesn't matter. With my first pick, I'm going to go with the GameCube controller. There's a reason that Nintendo keeps bringing it back for every console iteration. It's perfect for Smash. It's perfect for a lot of games. The clickiness feels amazing. The big buttons just feel natural. The stick feels great. It just is lacking a second proper analog stick. Still, the C-Stick is pretty fun to use, especially for Smash attacks. So, yeah, the GameCube controller.
All right, we're snaking this time around. So, Connor, what's your next pick?
This actually changes things because I have to do it. With my second pick, I'm going to go with the PS4 controller. That's my preferred PlayStation controller. I don't love the DualSense. I think that some of the gimmicks that are on it are pretty cool. It hurts my hands, though. Am I old? Am I an old, decrepit man? For some reason, it just hurts my hands after long play sessions. The PS4 was perfect for me. It was the right weight, wasn't too hefty. Everything felt good. The sticks with the concaved analog sticks finally felt right for PlayStation. PS4 controller, that's my favorite PlayStation controller. That's what I'm going. Second pick.
With my second pick, I'm going to take the PS5 controller.
Yeah.
Like, it is the best PS controller ever. It feels hefty. It feels like a piece of technology. And I think that can't be emphasized enough. When you take that PlayStation 5 out of the box, you get on the sticks, you play Miles Morales or now Spider-Man 2 or a game like that, where there is certain mechanics that are even made more special because of the controller and really add to the gameplay. That's special. That should be, like, important in a controller draft, in my opinion. And it just feels good. It feels next-gen. It's hefty. I love it. With my next pick, I'm picking the Wii controller. I love the Wii controller. Here's the thing.
You're out of your fucking mind. You just threw so hard.
Let me stick with this. You got Wario Smooth Moves? Are you kidding me? One of the most fun motion controller games of all time. The nunchuck system was the first part of what we get with the Joy-Cons nowadays, because you got the two controllers, you got your two sticks, Connor. It's already made. It's already there for you. You can do what you want with them. Sure, there's a little wide, which who cares? You can swing that thing around, beat your little brother with it. It's going to be a great time doing so. I love the Wii controller. I love the gameplay that it allows for it. Sure, like, there's games like Skyward Sword where it's like, I don't really want to play this type of game with, like, Wii controller. But come on, dude. It's the Wii controller. My team's already so good just off of the Xbox One controller. I'm fine to throw in.
Whatever you say, buddy. You just tossed hard. Because with my third pick, I'm going to go with the Switch Pro controller. Amazing controller, huge buttons. I know this is kind of a gray area for what's out of the box. The Joy-Cons and the Pro controller are like the two controllers for Switch. So I don't lambast me on that. But I love the huge buttons. I love the offset sticks. I think it is the only way to play the Switch on your television. Do not put your Joy-Cons in the grip. Use a Pro controller. It feels amazing. Honestly, I think that they should just bring that back for whatever the Switch 2 is. Just give me another Pro controller. It's perfected. It's awesome.
What's your next pick?
With my fourth pick, I have a few directions to go here. Interesting. With my fourth pick, I'm going to go with the Sega Genesis controller. I was between two here. I prefer the Sega Genesis controller. I like the buttons a little bit better. I like the form factor. It's classic. Great for Sonic. Come on, the Sega Genesis controller. Give it to me.
You talk about throwing the draft. You just had the easiest 1-2 punch maybe of all time. If you went Switch and then what I'm about to take, I think I lose the draft. Now I think I am gonna win the draft. My next pick, the Xbox 360 controller.
See, here's the thing. Can I say this real fast?
Sure.
I thought since you had the Xbox One controller, you weren't gonna take the Xbox 360 controller. I was like, I can get that in the fifth. If I slide that in as my fifth pick, I think my team is perfect. It's like we nailed it. But fine, you can have it.
Yeah, I'm gonna have it. Why not? We didn't say like one per. Like, no, come on.
You think you want to flesh out your team a little bit more and not just go Xbox.
I just want the best controllers on my team, okay?
All
and
right.
the best controllers of all time, I really do think is, like, I do love the Pro Controller. I love the Pro Controller. That is a great pick. I didn't write my picks down. I always go off the dome while you're all prepping and shit. That's a great pick. I'm proud of you. But the fact that you did not pick the Xbox 360 controller, are you kidding me? It is still, maybe to this day, the second best controller behind the Xbox One controller.
Yeah.
It's elite.
It is. I just thought I could get in the fifth.
Yeah.
Like, I thought it was safe there, but good pick.
All right, I'm going to round it out with the PS2 controller. That's my last pick. I love my team. I got my Nintendo. The PS2 controller versus the Switch Joy-Cons were my last choice. I love the cons to be spread out and everything.
You're so weird for
I'm spread eagle with those Joy-Cons, dude. But yeah.
The Joy-Cons suck.
The drift is the big
No, I just don't. Their buttons are so small. Like, it's not ideal. It's not ideal.
For me, some of my best memories are on the cons, but that's not my pick. My pick is the PS2 controller, which is probably the second best PlayStation controller in my eyes.
It's close.
Behind the PS4?
The PS3 is kind of weird.
The PS4 is ahead, below it. PS5 is above it, so it's close.
You think the PS4 is below the PS2?
I love the PS2 controller.
Wild.
Love it.
That is weird.
Wait, real quick though, I also did think about taking the Guitar Hero guitar.
Yeah.
And being like, have you seen some of those sniper clips, dude?
Yeah,
are you kidding me?
That's fair.
Bang. Like, it's so good.
With my last pick, with my fifth and final pick, I'm going to go with the SNES controller. Another really great step up, second iteration for a controller from the NES to the SNES. That form factor, those rounded edges feel way better in your hands than the NES controller, in my opinion. I think my team's got a little bit of everything. I kind of leaned a little bit more towards Nintendo, I guess, but I'll take it.
You don't have an Xbox controller on your roster.
It's fine.
No, it's not.
It
For a
is.
controller draft, it's not fine, Connor.
It wasn't supposed to go this way.
How is your first pick not the 360 controller?
Because you picked the Xbox One controller. I was like, I'm safe. I'm good.
Like, what happened, dude?
All right.
I like how like the draft's over, your team sucks.
Well, you picked the Wii remote. I'm going to win off of that immediately.
No.
Yeah.
No, my team's better.
All right. Honorable mentions, I had the PS3.
Good.
And I have the N64 on a legacy importance standpoint. It's got the stick, and I know that it has like the 3 prongs, but that stick like paved the way for the controllers we know today.
I also think that people are like, oh, it sucks or whatever, but like, you're never really holding it wide. You're always holding.
But why is it even there then?
It really shouldn't be. That's why like it's unimportant and everything. But like, one of the designs is pretty cool. Just like in general, that looks like a asteroid like spaceship. It looks pretty cool. But also just the functionality of it, people need to chill out. Like it does what it needs to do for a lot of those games. It's a lot of fun to play, a lot of N64 games, and the controller is like doesn't really hinder that. Right. And so I enjoy it.
It's good. And yeah, that's all I had actually. And then NES, I guess, just for being like a.
Yeah, I thought you were definitely gonna take the SNES with your last pick, but I was really shocked.
Well, I was gonna go Genesis, and then I was gonna go Xbox 360. That's what I thought.
But
what would you have taken if I had taken the Xbox 360?
I probably would have started going SNES and like down that road.
Okay.
Or Xbox One controller. Like not or Xbox. The
Original?
Xbox controller.
No,
yeah,
the Duke.
It's not great.
Yeah,
But
you can't.
it's not
All
great.
right, let me wrap this bad boy up. That was the casual. That was the casual gaming conversation. I'm sick. I don't feel well. I think you can hear it in my voice now
Totally,
at this
totally.
point. Yeah. So that's good. We're gonna get through it though. Thanks so much for sticking through with us. Glad we could still make this happen for you guys. We're not gonna miss a week. We are committed to putting stuff out for you guys, being here for you.
Next week, Connor, do you know what we get to talk about for the first time?
Game Awards, baby.
Game Awards. We will be predicting the nomination slate for the big ones. We're not gonna do all 25 awards, but we'll probably go through around 6 or 7, and we will close out that conversation with discussing what the 6 games we think
is gonna be tough.
will be at the Game Awards. There will be some research done. The reason we're doing this as early as it seems is that will post Thursday, probably the next Monday that week. We will actually get that revealed. So it's really exciting. We want to make sure to have that up for you guys beforehand. But man, oh man, it's gonna be one hell of a conversation. And I do think that like the discourse on Alan Wake this next week will really hold be that like extra spice because man, oh man, I don't know.